Hi, I'm Shashi Kiran with Appcito, and I'm here with Bugwadia, CEO of Nirmata. Nirmata is very much knee-deep into the container space and into orchestration. So we'll have Jim talk a little bit about what he does at the company as well as what he's seeing in the industry. Jim, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Shashi.
So what's Nirmata into?
Yes, so like you were starting to describe, what Nirmata does is we provide multi-cloud container services for enterprises. So my co-founders and I, we started Nirmata to make it easy for enterprises to adopt DevOps best practices like agility and continuous delivery. So today, as we know, our lives increasingly depend on software, and we believe that there needs to be a fundamentally different way of deploying and operating and managing software at scale. So that's our mission, to solve that problem for enterprises.
So clearly, as a startup, you have bet your company on this whole DevOps movement as also containerization picking up. So what was the aha moment for you looking at the landscape and saying, hey, this is where I want to go?
Right. Yeah, so as we saw cloud computing become the new normal, so to speak, what we also saw is that really the value of cloud is in the application layer. And we recognize a couple of things there. First off is application architectures need to change to be able to adopt continuous delivery and the best practices around that. So that's where the microservices component comes in. And containers are the best way to package and deliver and operate microservices because they provide that standard unit, the standard interfaces, if you will, for management and operations. So putting that together, we realized that although some of these technologies are evolutionary, the paradigm shift and what it enables for applications is huge, and that's what we're excited about.
Excellent. So let's talk about how you're approaching some of these customers. Who are the consumers that you're targeting, and where are they in their life cycle of adopting, embracing these new age application architectures?
Yeah, so our focus at Nirmata is enterprise DevOps teams, and we look for mid-size enterprise teams who are looking for agility, want to embrace DevOps best practices, but don't necessarily want to take on the burden of the tooling and the operations themselves. So Nirmata is fully delivered as a service, so there's nothing to install, manage, and operate yourself. So we do all the undifferentiated heavy lifting for the customers, and they can kind of enjoy the best practices and the value that they can get out of those. So our target segment is those mid-size enterprise teams who are looking to deliver, operate their applications on multiple clouds. And because Nirmata is, again, built as a service, it's very easy to integrate and build your applications on any cloud.
As you go and engage with these customers, what are some of the top use cases that you see bubbling up? Because it's a very broad landscape.
Sure.
And you need to sort of say, hey, here is how I can convert. So what do you see panning out?
Yeah,
today?
so at the high level, the value propositions we see first off are the agility that some of the technologies we're building on provides to developers and operations teams. And then there's also the portability and the cost savings aspects of it that comes in as well, right? The use cases really are, and in a lot of cases, it's taking existing applications, making them cloud native or making them ready to operate on cloud. And as part of that migration, as part of that transformation, being able to package in the portability and cost savings through containers.
And so when they go down this path, what are some of the hurdles that they end up seeing? Because there is the old world and the new. How are you creating the bridge between them?
Sure. Yeah, so what we recommend, it's really 3 steps, right? So it's containerize, automate, and then transform and evolve. And that transform piece could be both the application architecture as well as the culture, right? Because moving to a DevOps culture is not always easy.
That's right.
For existing enterprises. So some of the hurdles that we see is just, there's a lot of new technology and new portions that come in. But it's really, the main challenge is when teams try to take on too much of the tooling and too much of the platform layers themselves. And that's where we feel that going with a solution like Nirmata just makes things a lot easier.
You talked about multi-cloud in the beginning. How important is this panning out to be? Is there a fear of lock-in into one cloud, or is it different applications, different clouds today?
So absolutely. When it comes to the application layer, choosing a cloud provider is much like choosing an infrastructure provider or infrastructure vendor maybe 5 or 10 years ago, right? So no enterprise wanted to be locked into a single infrastructure vendor. Similarly today, no enterprise wants to be locked into a single cloud provider. So that's one aspect of it. The other interesting aspect is being able to, as applications scale and go global, being able to leverage the best cloud provider in various regions, being able to address data locality and other use cases around that. And for a lot of enterprises, being able to choose between private and public cloud for workflows as needed. So all of those make it really important to have that portability at the application layer, but then be able to rapidly deploy on any infrastructure, any cloud.
So choice and flexibility, it all boils down to that. And you're making it very simple for them to adopt it. I know we're doing a demo together as well with Appcito and Nirmata, and we'll see how that pans out. So if you were to just share some of your experiences with somebody who is looking to go down this path of containers, who's exploring microservices, what are some of the best nuggets that you would share with them in terms of do's and don'ts? Is there a pattern that you see emerging?
Certainly, right. So just like with adopting any new technology, right, the best way to go about it is first clearly identify the requirements or the business goals that are needed, and then try this out with a pilot project, right? And then once you have, once you're comfortable with that, rinse and repeat to other projects, other applications. So really, I mean, it's no different than, taking a more sort of methodical and business-driven approach to any new technology, and that's what we again see with containers, microservices, and all of these transformations. In terms of some of the more detailed challenges and things, of course, taking a traditional application, which perhaps is delivered as installed software today, and just making it run in cloud. There's some changes that are needed, like externalizing variables, making sure that your dependencies are loosely coupled. But all of those seem to be best practices that you would want to do to evolve your application anyways, right? So there is some guidance and some recipes, if you will, for doing that, which we help our customers with.
Excellent. So we look forward to continuing to partner with Nirmata, and it's a pleasure to be on this journey with you, Jim. So thank you for being here and spending your time with us, and look forward to more of these new age architectures coming to life soon.
Thank you.